What's up, YouTube? Mr. LawMSC here, and today we're going to be diving into yet another Runeword that has been released. We got a lot of stuff coming in 2.4, and I am very excited for it. So let's jump over and see what it is. It is called Unbending Will. So here we can see it in a Colossus blade, so we know it's at least in swords right here. I don't know if it's in all weapons, what that is exactly, but here we have it. Fal Io Ith Eld El Hell. So first off, okay, it is swords only. First off, 6 open sockets. So that right there is actually pretty important to note, because finding 6 open socket swords can be a little bit difficult, right? You're generally going to be putting that in some other things. I mean, you can get it in like a phase blade, but you're going to have, mostly just kind of your, like it says, like the Colossus blades and things like that, right? Kind of that sort of tree of swords. So there's not a ton of swords that actually can get 6 open sockets, which is interesting right there. All right, we'll do this. Let's go to the pieces of it, though. Let's dive in right now. 18% chance to cast level 18 taunt on striking. Now, this is actually really huge, because this provides a -2 damage and attack rating for the monsters that get taunted. And 18% is huge. I mean, that's a very high percent. So you're going to be using that and getting a lot of additional safety. This, I mean, to me already, I'm like Act 5 Mercenary immediately, right? That's the first thing that you think about. Act 5 Mercenary. He goes in, he hits somebody, it taunts, and you get -39% damage and attack rating to those monsters. So that right there. +3 to combat skills for the barb. It only taunts the person he's hitting. I guess that's fair. So it won't be quite as good in that regard, because you're only taunting the monster you're hitting and he's already stunning them anyways. 3 to combat skills, so a little bit of a boost there. 20 IAS, again, a little low on this attack speed. I wish maybe some of these, but I mean, it is a very cheap Runeword, never mind. That other one I wish had maybe a little more. 330 ED, though, is pretty massive. That's a very nice enhanced damage for such a cheap set of runes. +9 max damage, 50 attack rating, 75 damage undead, 50 attack rating against undead, 8% lifesteal, so that's always nice to have a little bit of lifesteal in there, especially when you have actually high damage like that. That's going to be super nice. 10 to strength, 10 to vitality. Again, just a little more boost. Damage reduced by 8. 1 to late radius requirements -20%. A lot of that just coming from those runes there. It's really nice. I mean, I like seeing these kinds of things because prevent monster heal as well. Yes. I like seeing these kinds of things because a lot of Runewords, and I think the things that people are always looking for is like, where's Enigma? Where's the next like grief and all of that stuff. But finding these spots in the middle is really nice, because you can have it for a Runeword to get you through the game some, right? And this is, for people who play ladder and just rush to the end and, have all the high runes, they're not going to think about this at all, right? But for people who actually play through the game, this is a really nice piece, because now you kind of want a Fal rune. I mean, I guess before you'd be like for a Lionheart or something, but now you're like, oh man, like if I can find a Fal rune, if I can, I can go do a little hunting in some like hell, tower and things like that. Like this opens up and becomes really nice. The Nightmare Forge can give you that Fal rune as well. And then you're just getting big old damage right there. and which is just super nice, right? So it's just going to really open up, I think, for just like barbarians. You could even have fun with like a charged in maybe with this and a two-hander or something. And it'll just be a nice rune word to kind of like take you through hell, I think. I think that's kind of the point of it. It's a good melee rune word from that transition of Nightmare, when your black rune word and those sorts of things kind of start to fade out. They still have the crushing blow and are good on bosses, but then you start fighting like real monsters in hell and you're like, man, it's just so hard to like do damage. I think this is one of those pieces that's like, here's a rune word that can kind of help for that next step, right? To get that extra damage added in and everything there. So I think that's really nice. I think it's a nice boost to melee characters there. The more I think about it, the more it doesn't matter as much on an Act 5 Merc. I mean, I guess the nice thing is it's still something you could put on an Act 5 Mercenary until you find like Head Striker or whatever. Right? Like, yeah, I mean, you probably don't beat that. But like, you know, I mean, until then, or if you don't have that, or if you're just playing through the game and you want your mercenary to kind of get a better weapon and all of this, it's solid, you know? It has that lifesteal on it. It has good damage. It's got a little bit of extra tank ability, a little bit of damage reduce and strength and vitality. It's not bad. It's not bad. Not much in the way of like attack rating add or anything. Yeah. So that's just gonna be that piece right there. Now, yeah, it can only be made in Crystal Sword and up and Great Sword and up, right? So Crystal Sword, Dimensional Blade, Phase Blade, Great Sword, Executional Sword, and Colossus Blade. There's only 2 types of swords that can actually be made in. So that is something to note. I imagine for a Barbarian, you're probably putting it in like an Executioner sword. That'd be my assumption. Or a Phase Blade if you really want to swing fast with it later on. Yeah. It's not bad. So, but you do have low damage on the Crystal Sword style over there, right? And all that. And the Phase Blade, is that too late? You know, I mean, that's the debate, right? At that point. Because the Foul Rune is level 41 required. I know it says required level 63. That's because it's in this Colossus Blade. So if you put it in an Executioner sword, it's going to be level 41 required. Decent mid-level item. Yeah, I think it's not bad. You also get the minus requirements to help out a little bit. It's not bad for 41 at all. Once again, it's going to kind of be one of those, oh, I found a Foul Rune. Perfect. I have a use for it. Forge gave it to me. You might even go for a little bit of stuff with it in hell right there. Or if you're sharing some gear down to your Barbarian and you're not getting rushed and you're playing through the game, you're going to be like, okay, perfect. I'll just get a Foul Rune and do this. And the other nice thing is it is 6 open sockets, which means you can just use a socket quest on it. You're not having to chance for it, right? So you can literally just grab a sword, you know, an Executioner sword, and then do a socket quest on it. You'll get the 6 open sockets and you'll be good to go. So you don't have to sit there and pray that the white one is going to roll in the cube with 5 open sockets or anything. So I think that's going to be a little bit more helpful. So not bad. I think it's definitely a decent one to throw in the middle. I think it's decent for the character. I think it's decent for the mercenary. It's, just something that you're going to use in that temporary amount of time. Big ED, some IAS, some plus skills, lifesteal. Very, very standard, simple rune word. And yeah, I'm totally cool with it. I think this is a good cheap rune word to kind of throw into the game and bring some stuff. So I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts. Feel free to post them down below. How would you use this? Don't forget to like and subscribe. Peace, YouTube.